Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on March 2nd, 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. I personally really enjoyed tonight's Monday Night Raw. I thought the show was really good. I thought, yeah, there were some whatever things, but I thought most of all, this was one of the better Monday Night Raws that we have seen in God knows how long, to be honest. I mean, I don't remember when, like, looking back at the list of matches, tag title match, Riddick Moss and Ricochet was one of those meh kind of things. The whole AJ Alistair stuff was good. Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, that's another okay kind of thing. But other than that, like, everything else on the show was good, I felt. Just about. The Riddick Moss Ricochet thing, I don't get that. We'll talk about it when we get to it. And then the Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan thing, it's what it was. I get why they did it. But everything else was good. And there is not a week that I can remember where everything on a Raw was good except for like 2 segments. Maybe 3, because that Eric Rowan Tarantula thing was like, what the hell? But other than that, like, I don't remember the last time when, say, 75 to 80% of Raw was good. And only like 20-25 wasn't. So hopefully this gets a good rating because this was a really good show. But before we talk about that show, we got to see who's here in my show, listening to me talk about this show. Who's in the live chat right now? I got a lot of you chatting it up right now. Let's see. We have Henry Cavallo, Wayne Montgomery, Nate Wild, King Slender, Timmy Hayes. We've also got Kiko Mills, Winkout69, I hope I said that right, Dontrell Bailey, Nelson, Eric Tate, Kristen McNutt, Robbie Rice, here Marcus Ryan, and so many more of you. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight to talk about Monday Night Raw. And if you are in the live chat and you see some people using that Monday Night Raw logo emoji and their name is in green with a little ring badge next to it, and you say, hey, how can that be me? Easy. All you got to do is go down there where it says subscribe and hit that button that says join. Once you hit that button, you can join to be a PW Unlimited YouTube member subscriber, directly supporting us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As a member subscriber at either the donation or the mid-card tier, you get access to our emojis. You get early access to certain things. You also get your name in green in the live chat and in comments. You get the badge next to your name and a bunch more. I am going to be doing a members only Q&A, basically a members only Q&A live stream this weekend. Get your questions ready for that. I will let you guys know exactly what time that's going to be. Probably sometime on Saturday, since the pay-per-view for WWE is on Sunday. So if you want to become a PW Unlimited member subscriber right here on YouTube, all you got to do is hit that join button down there next to where it says subscribe. We really do appreciate it because that is a great way to directly support us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But with that, now we got to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. If you guys want to let me know what you thought of tonight's Raw, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. You can also put your questions in the live chat. The best way to make sure that I do see your question and it doesn't get overlooked is to submit it as a super chat donation. Again, super chat donations, I make sure those do get read in the live chat during the live stream. And again, those also directly support us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As soon as the show opened up tonight for Monday Night Raw, the announcers ran down tonight's card. They announced Aleister Black versus AJ Styles, and it seemed to get the biggest reaction of all the stuff they did announce. First up, though, Brock. Well, actually, they said the first match. They didn't say the first thing. They said the first match of the night would be the Raw Tag Team Championship match. But the first thing we got was Brock Lesnar, WWE Champion, and Paul Heyman. Excuse me. So Heyman came down and said it was their job to hype the fans on WrestleMania, but he just couldn't do it. Even though, top to bottom, this was the most stacked card in decades, the main event of Mania, that is a shame. The crowd booed. Heyman said they want to sell us on Drew McIntyre, but he was a hyped up fraud. Heyman said Lesnar massacred 15 of the top superstars in this company during the Royal Rumble before he was hit in the balls from behind by Ricochet and kicked out of the ring by McIntyre. He called the crowd Pavlovian dogs for cheering that. He offered no excuse for Lesnar getting eliminated, but that was no reason to believe that McIntyre can pin or submit him at WrestleMania. Heyman called McIntyre a stupid big bitch that's going to get squashed. McIntyre would then interrupt. Came down in his gear. I thought, is McIntyre having a match here soon? And no, he was just ready to beat Brock down. McIntyre stepped into the ring and right into Brock's face. McIntyre was slightly taller than Brock, so, that's cool. Lesnar lifted up his shoulders a bit to seem a bit taller. I thought that was kind of funny. Lesnar, about to leave, then turned around, and as he did, he was kicked right in the face by McIntyre with a Claymore kick, wiping him out. McIntyre then leaves. Lesnar continued to sell and began crawling towards his belt as the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." Byron Saxton said Lesnar has been embarrassed. Lesnar finally got to his feet, and the crowd chanted the goodbye song. Lesnar struggled up the stage when McIntyre would appear again out of nowhere and nail him with yet another Claymore kick. The crowd chanted one more time. Then McIntyre, did it one more time, giving him a third Claymore kick. The crowd cheered for Drew. This was a great segment, making Drew McIntyre look like a great challenger to Brock Lesnar and the WWE Championship. So then next up, we do move on to the Street Profits, challenging Seth Rollins and Murphy for the the Raw Tag Team Championships. There's no just straight WWE Tag Titles. My bad. So I thought this match was really good, really fun, just like the match they had. Actually, I thought it was better than the match they had in Saudi Arabia, to be completely honest. So they're calling this a now or never, a last chance match for the Street Profits. If they weren't winning, if they didn't win tonight, they wouldn't get another shot at the tag titles. And they hyped that up big throughout most of this match. So Rollins and Murphy wore matching gear tonight. I think they wore the same gear at Super Showdown. They attacked the Street Profits before the match even started. The Street Profits initially fought them off, but Montez Ford went for a dive and was caught and driven into the barricade by the champs. Angelo Dawkins checked on him as they went to break. Jerry Lawler was so happy to see someone get caught on a dive and thrown into the barricade. He said basically, so many people just jump over the ropes and land on the opponents, but hey, good to see that there's offense and defense during them dives. The match began during the break, and Ford managed to pull off a dive on both opponents before also hitting a high cross. He gave Rollins a spike DDT and a standing moonsault for 2. Rollins came back with a sling blade, and then he and Murphy did a combo powerbomb kick spot. They tried the spot again, but Ford slipped out with a leg scissor takedown, and Murphy kicked Rollins by accident. Ford went to the top again, and Rollins shoved him to the outside, then called for the AOP, who watched from the stage. Referee immediately tossed them from ringside before they could do anything and get involved. And that was Seth Rollins' detriment. Because as they were arguing about the AOP getting kicked out, Seth Rollins would run in. Kevin Owens would run in, hit Seth Rollins with a stunner, and then AOP chased Owens off. This then allowed Dawkins to knock Murphy into the timekeeper's area. Ford then gave Rollins one of his amazing frog splashes and pinned the Raw Tag Team Champions to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. So the Street Profits, the champs, they won the Raw Tag Team Championships for the first time. This is the second time that they've won gold in the WWE. I want to say thank you to Oscar, I hope I said this right, Josu Montiel for the super chat donation. I really do appreciate that. So, crowd, I don't know how this happened, but everybody in the crowd had the red Solo cups. So, I guess maybe they were under their seats or something. But with everybody having those cups, I would have assumed that spoils the win. That spoils the title change. Because why would everybody have these cups if they were losing? So, I don't know how those were distributed. I didn't talk to anybody that was actually at the show tonight. But yeah, I feel like that. If I was there and everybody was handed out these cups when usually you can tell that they're not, that would have spoiled the match for me. But either way, great scene after the match with the new Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, in the ring and holding up their belts, and everybody with those red Solo cups just going. Wayne Montgomery asked if I'm doing a Twitch stream tonight. Yep, I should be playing some NASCAR, and I'll probably do one race of NASCAR and then go into, I'm not sure what I'm going to go into after. I think I'm only going to do one NASCAR race and then go into something else. Maybe Star Wars. Maybe I'll try some Apex Legends. Maybe some Fortnite. We'll see. I'll poll the people that are in the Twitch stream later on tonight. If you want to watch me play some video games and talk more wrestling, you can head over to twitch.tv /TimmyBuddy. Again, that's twitch.tv /TimmyBuddy. About 30, 40 minutes or so after we're done here talking about wrestling and talking about Raw, I'll be doing some more streaming over there. Shelly Caruso approached Rollins and Murphy backstage. Rollins was annoyed to see her. He's like, oh, shock on the case. And he demanded a rematch, saying that he wants the Street Profits this Sunday with the tag titles on the line. We did learn later in the night that match will be taking place this Sunday with the tag titles on the line. He also told Kevin Owens, name the time, place, and stipulation, because when I get my hands on you, you'll be crucified. So I guess that's going to be the big match for WrestleMania, it looks like. Singles match between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. Next up, we got Riddick Moss. We knew he was defending his championship tonight, and we learned that it was against Ricochet. So my first thought was, oh, wow. You sacrificed Ricochet at Super Showdown to give him a title? Okay, that's cool. Not what happened at all. Ricochet wears trunks instead of the long tights. This is the second or third time we've seen him do this recently, changing up his look. The announcer said that Ricochet was looking to get back on track after Thursday's loss to the Beast. Moss, the champion, didn't get an entrance, so the fans chanted, "Who are you?" throughout the early portions of this match. Excuse me. Ricochet tried a springboard crossbody early, but Moss caught him and sent him over the top to the outside with a fall-away slam. Ricochet took a bit of a nasty bump here. He was also bleeding from his mouth early on. After a break, Ricochet fought out of a rest hold and hit a running forearm. He then hit a kick to the head, enziguri Hurricane Rana, standing shooting star press for 2. Ricochet then urged the crowd to get into it. They really didn't, though. Moss then blocked a super kick, slammed him down, gave him a neckbreaker variation, and then just pinned him 1, 2, 3 to retain the championship. Yeah, Ricochet just folded up and pinned by Riddick Moss with the 24/7 championship on the line. Like, who did he piss off? That's my question. Who did he piss off? I do want to say thank you to Ethan Taylor for the super sticker. Really do appreciate that donation. So, I got people asking me on Twitter and stuff, what happened here? Why was Ricochet just killed by Riddick Moss? They could have put, and I said it too, they could have put anybody else in that spot. But Ricochet, really? I was so confused by this. Like, Ricochet just lost to Brock Lesnar in like a minute and a half. What was that, 4 days ago? 3 days ago? See, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days ago. And then you're going to have him lose to Riddick Moss? What the hell? Like, this makes no sense. Don't try to say they're doing the Daniel Bryan thing. Beat him, and the crowd wants to see him succeed so bad that when he finally does, it's even bigger than it would be now. No, because that only worked with freaking Daniel Bryan. Tried it with Sami Zayn, never worked. Tried it with Becky Lynch, Didn't work till she got her nose broke. So I don't know what to say other than hope Ricochet didn't piss somebody off. So then we got the announcement, which actually we learned yesterday during the NASCAR race, that there will be a Firefly Funhouse this week where Bray Wyatt will react to The Fiend versus John Cena at WrestleMania. They actually announced this, like I said yesterday, during the NASCAR race on Fox. We then see Kairi Sane warming up backstage with Asuka as she is replacing Asuka in her match with Shayna Baszler later on tonight, because they state that Asuka has a wrist injury. So next up, AJ Styles comes out. AJ said that he's not in a good mood. He said that I wish I had this beautiful trophy, but I don't because of a certain someone. Crowd chanted The Undertaker. Styles said that he was the talk of the town, but not in a good way. He didn't understand how anyone could say anything negative about him because he's so phenomenal. Styles was also annoyed with Mark Wahlberg, telling him that he should just run away from The Undertaker, and then they played the clip, which random as hell. Mark Wahlberg just saying, hey, me and my kids were watching wrestling, and we saw what happened to Mr. AJ Styles. Mr. AJ Styles just run away from The Undertaker. So, played that Mark Wahlberg clip, whatever. And he made fun of him, called him Marky Mark, and the crowd started chanting, Marky Mark. Styles says that he wasn't going to take his advice because he knew he was on a collision course with Taker. Styles wanted Taker to watch this match against Black tonight. Taker was a legend, but he was trying to hold on to a spotlight that wasn't his anymore. Spotlight now belongs to Styles. Thank you, Luke, for the super chat donation. Does WWE needs to stop jobbing Ricochet or release him? Well, they ain't going to release him. And according to a source, I was just told that this is a part of a larger storyline that Paul Heyman has built out for Ricochet. I don't know what it is, but that's what I was just told. That Ricochet losing multiple times here is part of a larger storyline that Paul Heyman has in place for Ricochet. So we'll see where that leads to. But, I mean, this source has been good for me here recently. So I'm going to take it more as a good thing, as far as like the news I'm getting, the info I'm getting. And we'll see if this, I guess you could say, is something better for Ricochet. So going forward, Aleister Black entered their match. Before it could happen, AJ said, whoa, you didn't read the contract for this match, did you, buddy? Because in order to get to me, you got to take on the toughest man in the building, Carl Anderson. Anderson jumped in the ring and yelled, that's me! So we got Aleister Black versus Carl Anderson. Match went almost 6 minutes here. Anderson was in control after a break, but Black made a comeback and hit the Black Mass for the pin. Like I said, it went about 6 minutes. Ring announcer said Black just earned a match against Styles, but you know what? No. Styles said Black has to go through Gallows. Gallows attacked Black and tossed him into the ringside area crowd and called Styles an asshole. So Aleister Black and Luke Gallows go about 5.5 minutes, but it ends in a DQ. Referee called for the match to start as soon as Gallows rolled Black into the ring, which hardly was really that fair. Should have just said, hey, Black, are you ready to go? Because he did that later with AJ. Anyways, after the break, Gallows pounded on him, as Tom Phillips said that this basically is a gauntlet match in itself. Lawler wondered how Black would have missed that in the contract. Suddenly, because Gallows wouldn't stop beating on him in the corner, the ref just said, you know what? I've gave you enough warnings. Call for the bell, DQ, you're done. Crowd booed that. And then they chanted for The Undertaker. The OC gave Black a magic killer, and AJ jumped in the ring. So despite watching Black get attacked, the referee still called for the match to start. Black got to his feet, and then he started it. Styles blocked a comeback attempt and hit a brainbuster. Styles then hit a phenomenal forearm and pinned Black the same way that The Undertaker pinned him at Super Showdown. Match went roughly 2.5 minutes or so. So really, what we do know is this is leading to a no disqualification match this coming Sunday at a Super Showdown. I don't get it, the whole having Black be the sacrificial lamb for the OC, but hey, we'll see. So the same person that just told me that the Ricochet losing thing is a bigger storyline by Paul Heyman also just told me that Drew McIntyre got yelled at tonight for knocking Brock a little loopy. So Brock Lesnar got knocked a little, I guess, loopy with all those what's it called, Claymore kicks. I don't know if it was from the kick itself or the way Brock had to sell him. I don't know, taking those bumps. Maybe it was one of the ones on the stage, but for sources, one source just told me that Drew got yelled at a little bit tonight after knocking Brock out almost. Interesting. So then tells tomorrow night on WWE Backstage, Jeff Hardy will be the special guest. Also, they didn't say this on TV, they said it on Twitter. An announcement will be made tomorrow on the latest next inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2020. I don't know who it's going to be, whether it's Jushin Thunder Liger, whether it's maybe the British Bulldog. We'll see. And then next up, we've got Liv Morgan against Ruby Riott with Sarah Logan as the special guest referee. Ruby Riott, for the majority of this match, tried to call this straight down the middle. Riott was in control early until Logan backed her out of the corner. She says, I'm the referee. Listen to me. If I call you to get out of the corner, get out of the corner. Riott got in her face, but Logan said that, I make the rules since I'm the official. Riott gave Morgan a flatliner. Then they bonked heads with Logan by accident, and Morgan kicked out. Logan and Riott then argued. Then Morgan applied a schoolgirl as... So let me back up. I have this written wrong. So Ruby goes to pin Liv. As Sarah Logan goes down to count it 1, 2. Every time she's counting, she counts 1. Then at the 2, she gets a little closer to them. And as Liv kicks out, it pops Ruby back. Ruby butts heads with Sarah Logan. Not Sarah's fault. She stands up. Ruby stands up and gets mad. And so she shoves Sarah Logan. Well, this causes Liv to hit the roll up. Sarah Logan then says, fuck you. You don't put your hands on me. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you lost. Liv Morgan wins. This did not go well with Ruby Riott, though. She tried to get in Sarah Logan's face. Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan both took her out. Morgan gave her a enziguri. And then as Liv Morgan thought, hey, we did it, she turns around and gets a running knee straight to the face by Sarah Logan, who is left standing. So then we go in the back and we see Randy Orton just randomly standing in the dark. They then plugged, for the first of a couple of different times, 2 steel cage matches this coming week on NXT. Graphic then played, and they let us, a graphic popped up on the screen, and they also let us know that the picture of Goldberg and the Universal Championship after his win at Super Showdown is the most liked photo ever on the WWE Instagram page. And you know why they keep touting this, right? Because all the crap that people have been giving Goldberg's win. Everyone's saying, oh, that's so bad. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants to see Goldberg as the champion, blah, blah, blah. But then when you say, for 800,000 people liked the photo of Goldberg posing with the belt after he won the title, that kind of kills the narrative on social media of everybody hates this. So more people liked it than not, according to them and their stats. We then got an amazing Orton Edge video package. Noah Jose was then seen dancing with his cog line in the back when he showed up and stopped up on Eric Rowan. Jose politely asked Eric, just show me what's in your cage, bro. Rowan said that he's been awaiting weeks for someone to just ask respectfully. That I'll show all of you what is in my cage. And the way they were shooting this, I didn't think he was going to show it because he sticks his hand in there and he fiddles around. And when he goes to pull his hand out, he's like, he's got his hand like this and he's pulling it out. The camera is above, his camera's like right here. You can see his hand a little, but you don't see anything in it. So my thought is, he's going to pull his hand out of the cage, turn around and pop, No Way Jose. No, he pulls out this it's like this big tarantula. And it looked like one of them damn toys you get over at the Spirit Halloween shop every October. And so he's got this tarantula and he puts it in No Way Jose's face. He goes like this to scare everybody else with it. They all run off and he's just got a tarantula. And my first thought was, tarantulas aren't scary. I grew up with tarantulas around all the time. We used to let the damn tarantulas just climb up our arms. I mean, every September, October where I grew up, we had Tarantula Fest, where all the vendors would come out and they'd sell their products and whatnot, and people would show off their tarantulas. I mean, what else are you going to do living up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere? So, anyways, yeah. So Eric Rowan's got a pet tarantula that's like superhuman size, 5 times bigger than any tarantula I've seen in person. But hey, each their own. I don't know where this is going to lead to now. The mystery is gone, and it wasn't anything that, like, holy crap, shocking. It wasn't anything that... What now? He's just going to bring the tarantula to ringside? You can still bring the cage without the sap on it, the burlap sack on it. I don't know. We'll see. Next up, we got Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. Match went about 12-13 minutes. Pretty good match. Phillips explained that Asuka suffered a wrist injury, so Sane had to replace her. For the match, Asuka said that Baszler was lucky that she got injured. Sane said, "I got this," in Japanese. Asuka said that she would win the chamber, and face Lynch at WrestleMania. So they were light. Shayna's going to kill you chance as the match started. So Sane covered her ears. This is funny. Phillips said that these two had a history. I think you hear Byron kind of say, yeah, back in NXT really quickly, but they didn't really explain anything. They then put over Shayna Baszler's MMA career, her background, and they kept calling her the Cage Fighter Shayna Baszler. So I don't know if that's her new gimmick nickname, the Cage Fighter Shayna Baszler, instead of the Queen of Spades or the Submission Magician. They said that one once when they said 14 of her 15 MMA wins came by the Karafuda Clutch. But early on, Baszler was in control until a distraction from Asuka allowed Sane to apply a schoolgirl, but only got a one off of it. Phillips said, Sane nearly got her. And then Baszler knocked her down. Then all of a sudden, just all out of the blue, out of nowhere, Becky's music hits. And I don't know what's up with Becky nowadays, coming out with the sunglasses and the big jacket and whatnot. They're trying to make her look cooler than she is. I don't get it. Because then she put on that. I do get it. They want us to think that she's the female Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor does the over-the-top, outlandish things. And so when she put that crown on tonight and was going, now I'm not just the man, I'm the king. Everyone needs to bow down to the real king. It's getting old, bro. It's getting really old. The over-the-top, I'm better than everybody, Becky Lynch. Now, they can do the I'm better than everybody, Becky Lynch. But they don't have to try and make her funny like Conor McGregor. Because it's just not working anymore. Because they had her when she first won that title and she did the stuff with Seth and they were going against Corbin and Lacey Evans. She was serious. And a badass. But now, she just wants to goof ha-ha joke. I don't know. It's kind of getting old. Jason Nelson's female Conor McGregor. Correct. But it's not working. Because with Conor, we know that's Conor McGregor. That's just how he acts. On camera and in real life. But we know that's not Becky. Becky does not just act like that all the time. So, anyways, Becky comes out. She ends up getting on commentary. After commercial break, we see that Becky's out there on commentary. And Lynch said that she could fight them all. And her heart rate wouldn't go over 60. Plus, there would be lifts and wigs flying everywhere. Okay, not funny. I think at one point the crowd slightly chanted, "This is boring," as Sane attempted a comeback, came off the top for an insane elbow, and Baszler got her feet and applied the Karafuda clutch for the submission victory. Again, the match itself wasn't bad, but I kind of got pulled out of it, and I couldn't really get too much into it once Becky came out and was making her wisecrack-ass jokes on commentary. So then Lynch called Baszler the only catch wrestler who didn't want to get caught because she's been avoiding her for weeks. Avoiding her? What happened last week, Becky? When all the other women were brawling in the ring, you come out on the stage and Shayna's standing there, right here, come on, I'm right here, come on, waiting for you until you run down and you brawl. Like, Shayna's not running from you. Shayna's standing right in plain sight where you can come get her. When Becky started yelling on commentary, I'm right here, come get me, Shayna. I'm right here. Shayna can't hear her. Shayna don't got that TV feed, and you ain't yelling loud enough. I'm not 100% over it, but I'm kind of getting over the Becky character because it's kind of trying to become more funny haha now. Trying to be too much like Conor McGregor. And it's all just because they're both Irish. If she was just a Canadian or a Mexican or an American female, I don't think she'd be like that. I just think she would be the Becky Lynch that we saw last year at WrestleMania. Going into that, like I said, that big match at Extreme Rules and SummerSlam and whatnot. So then Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo did a quick interview backstage with Sarah Schreiber. Mysterio said that this thing between them, Andrade and Angel Garza, would end when they decided it will end. Mysterio wore a cool Eddie Guerrero-inspired t-shirt. So this match was loads of fun. It was Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo taking on U.S. champion Andrade and Angel Garza. Andrade and Angel Garza, what a fucking team. Let's say that right now. What a team. Garza and Andrade both wore blue tights. Garza received a kiss from an elderly lady in the front row. And I think it was Tom Phillips goes, what is he doing? And Lawler goes, he's getting the dimples kissed. And they said something about he's got better dimples than Carrillo. And then Byron goes, well, they are cousins. So after a second commercial break, Mysterio tagged in and tried the 619, but Garza blocked it. Mysterio follows soon later with a Canadian Destroyer, but Andrade broke up the cover. Andrade tagged in and gave Mysterio a back elbow. Andrade did Eddie Guerrero's pose and tried the Three Amigos, but Mysterio slipped out on the last one. Guerrero tagged in and hit a standing moonsault for 2. At this point, I felt like it just all broke down into a tornado tag match because there was no more who's the legal man kind of shit. Mysterio gave both opponents a 619 and sent Garza to the outside. Carrillo then hit Andrade with a moonsault and pinned him after a really, really good, almost 20-minute match. I really enjoyed this. I thought the action from all 4 men was crisp, great, solid. I wouldn't mind seeing Andrade and Angel Garza a solid tag team in the WWE. I know Andrade's got the U.S. title now, but he could drop that, and then they can become a tag team managed by Zelina Vega. Why not? I liked it. Then we learned at Elimination Chamber, Rollins and Murphy will get their rematch. Plus, as I stated earlier, AJ versus Aleister Black in a no disqualification match. And then we had this segment. Beth Phoenix is shown getting ready to come out. As they say, Beth will join us after the break. I'm just going to say, this here tonight is why Randy Orton is on my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time list. Because when Randy Orton is on, like he's been on since the Royal Rumble, there's no touch in this. We've seen the, I don't give a fuck about this storyline, I'm going to cruise Randy Orton. Plenty. But when Randy Orton is invested in what the storyline is and the angles and everything, there's almost no one better today. So Beth Phoenix came out and said that she was going to give an update on Edge. But before she can really say too much, she was interrupted by Randy Orton. Orton entered the ring and wanted a hug, but, well, she didn't want it. She actually said, he then offered a handshake. Phoenix then said, thank you. I would hug you or shake your hand after. I think I would hug you or shake your hand, but after what you did to my husband, you're a son of a bitch. So she said, I'm actually glad that you're out here so I can tell you this news to your face. Orton goes and he sits up on the top rope. And Beth starts to talk. And she said that she was here as not just Edge's wife, but a mother. Because their kids deserve their father. Randy then jumps off the top rope. And Beth stops. Randy walks around. She doesn't take her eyes off of Orton. And Orton gets a microphone. Orton said that Edge would never wrestle again after what he did to him. Orton said that he owed her an explanation. This is where things got real. Orton told the story about being taken to a live event back in 1999 by his dad, Bob Orton. He said that his dad took him backstage at a WWE event to kind of introduce him to the right kinds of people because he wanted to break into the business. He said he was thrilled when he saw guys backstage like Steve Austin, Triple H, Mick Foley, and Davey Boy Smith. But one guy came up, shook his father's hand, and that was Edge. That his dad told him, or he told Orton's dad he respected him and that he was one of the best bad guys ever in this business. Edge told him that Bob Orton was one of the reasons he got into wrestling. Edge then told Randy at the time that they would get in the ring one day. Orton said that he used to be insecure about being a wrestler, but Edge's words gave him confidence. Not long after that, they were tearing things up, tearing down the house when they became tag team partners and rated RKO. Orton then said that he had some bad life choices at that time that really should have buried him, but it was Edge who pulled him out of that hole. Orton was able to be a great father because Edge saved his life. Orton said, now I'm just returning that favor to Edge so he can be there for you and your kids. He said he got goosebumps when Edge returned in the Royal Rumble, and he knew that Edge thought that he was returning for good. But Orton was worried that Edge would end up in a wheelchair and wouldn't be able to be there for their daughters, Ruby and Lyric. Orton said that he did what he did to save Edge because he loved Edge, Beth, and their daughters. Orton said the truth that this isn't his fault. It was Beth's fault. He called Phoenix an enabler. He said that Edge is an addict and a junkie. He's a junkie for the roar of the crowd and said that she did nothing to stop him. Orton realized at this moment that he may have loved Edge and their daughters more than she did because he did this for them to make sure that they still had a dad that can be there for them. So basically, Randy Orton said, I fucked him up so someone can't fuck him up worse to where he can't be there for you and your girls. And I'm like, chills. Woohoo! Phoenix then slaps him right across the face. They stared each other down. Everybody waited for it. Orton then called her a bitch off the mic, so Phoenix kicked him in the gut. He kind of went, sold the kick for a split second, jumped up, gave her an RKO, and walked off. I'm like, holy crap. Cameras cut away from the ring, and they follow Randy up the ramp. Randy walks around to the backstage area, and I go, okay, it's just going to go off the air like that. Randy's going to walk off as we see all these referees and EMTs running out, and it's just going to fade to black, and we don't know best condition until they post something on social media. But no, they go 2 minutes overtime here. So they go back to the ring, cut back to the ring, but then all of a sudden the camera pans up, and we're on the crowd for like 30 seconds. Then it cuts to the announcers, and they're like, we don't know what we just saw. And Tom Phillips is like, JR, King, you've seen some of Orton's most dastardly things. Where does this rank? And he's like, I just don't know. So they finally cut back to the ring. Got a bunch of people running down like Hawkins and Ryder. Natalya was right there. Rey Mysterio was right there. R-Truth was down there. We're all checking on Beth. Finally got her to sit up as the show goes off the air. And that Monday Night Raw ending with just the greatest of greatest Randy Orton. Like, that was one of the best Randy Orton promos. And Randy Orton's cut some of the greatest promos I've ever heard. Again, Randy Orton is literally like my third, fourth favorite wrestler of all time. And it's just shit like this. Like I said, when Randy Orton is on, there's almost no one better today. When Randy Orton cares, when Randy Orton is fully invested in the storyline and the angles and the gimmick and everything that's going on, there's no stopping him. from doing great. But with that, we do have a couple text messages and taking your calls. So if you want me to read your text message, if you want to tell me what you thought about tonight's show, you can do so by texting or calling in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. We have a couple text messages here I'm going to read. This person says, even though Raw was good, crowd was, I think I might have missed something here. This person said Raw was good, but the crowd was kind of dead. For things, a little bit. Yeah. This person says, if the Seth and Kevin has a stipulation, what do you think it will be? I'm not sure. Maybe a cage match at WrestleMania or Hell in a Cell, for the sole fact of the whole storyline here is that people keep getting involved. Whether that is Seth Rollins' disciples, the AOP and Murphy, whether that is the Viking Raiders, Samoa Joe, or the Street Profits. So maybe they do something at Mania where no one can get involved, where people are locked out. I can see something like that. Maybe it's a cage match or something. And this text message here says, any news on WrestleMania canceled due to coronavirus? I haven't heard anything. Nobody's heard anything. If you see anybody report anything over the last 24 hours, I'm not saying it's fake news, I'm saying it's false information because nobody knows anything. I was told over the weekend, before this news even came out, the WWE was monitoring the coronavirus stuff. The WWE was monitoring it because other big events around the world, and even here in the United States, were being canceled. I mean, there have been talks of the March Madness tournament being ran in empty buildings as far as just the teams and no crowd. I heard that there's going to be some wrestling shows in Japan doing the same thing. The Game Developers Conference in San Francisco coming up this month. Postponed. Most likely canceled, postponed. E3 may get canceled this year because of it. So we'll see. But with that, we do have a text message coming in that actually did have a call, but I lost it. This person here, the text message bin. Person does state, can you name one of the best Randy Orton moments? I mean, I can name a lot of best Randy Orton moments. I mean, what about when he had Triple H handcuffed to the ring, Stephanie knocks out, so he crawled on top of her and just kissed her to piss off Triple H. I mean, that's one of the best Randy Orton moments right there. I mean, I can name a bunch of great Randy Orton moments, good and bad. I mean, Triple H, one of the bad Randy Orton moments, him and Triple H having a great match. I want to say it was like a Vengeance one year for the WWE Championship. He goes for an RKO, and Triple H blocks it by throwing him over the top rope to the outside, and Randy lands on his shoulder and pops his collarbone out. What? This is where it says Edge versus Randy stipulation. I've heard possibly. I can see it being like a hardcore, no disqualification match. And this person says, how do you think AJ versus Undertaker will be at Mania? AJ carried the match. And your thoughts on Lesnar versus McIntyre? Good, bad, average Lesnar title match, Mania. Your thoughts? I think Lesnar and McIntyre could be really good. I think, yes, AJ will have to carry the Undertaker, but we've seen AJ carry people in the past to really good matches. I mean, AJ versus Shane had no right to be as good as it was, to be completely honest. George John Cox says, do you think Paige can come back? Not in WWE. I mean, we can say maybe because Edge got cleared, but look how long it took for Edge to get cleared. So maybe one day Paige can get back in the ring, but I don't know how soon. But with that, I do want to say thank you guys for joining me here to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. I want to thank everybody who watches later right here on YouTube and listens on podcast services all around the world. We'll be live again this Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Again, not sure what's going on with the Wednesday show as Nick's been working a lot of Wednesdays. So also, I forgot to mention, did you guys see it? Trivia's back tomorrow. Pro Wrestling Trivia Season 4 coming back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let me talk about that for a minute. We're bringing back our trivia here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And with that, you guys can win some prizes by the end of the 10-round season. So if you've never seen one of our trivia videos, it's simple. We do trivia, and you guys interact with it. You guys answer the trivia questions. Here's how it works. New episodes will drop every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. This season, season 4, is sponsored by FOCO and will be 10 episodes long. Now, how you play, how you participate, you put your answers in the comments of that week's video. Here's the kicker. If for any reason at all, on purpose or by mistake, it says edited next to your comment, is qualified. First 5 people to answer all 5 questions right in that week's video will earn a point on the leaderboard. Every week, after I give you the new set of questions, we will then give you the answers from the last week and update the leaderboard. At the end of the season, the top 2 will then end up winning some prizes. The first place prize winner will get a special bobblehead provided to us by FOCO. And then the second place person will get a wrestling prize box. You'll get a DVD, you'll get an autograph, a sticker, and some pins maybe. Not sure exactly what's all coming in the prize box. But with that, Pro Wrestling Trivia does kick off tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the PW Unlimited YouTube channel. And then every week from there on, for 10 weeks straight, will be every Tuesday. It's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. This is the 4th season that we have done. And, well, someone is going to win themselves a cool prize. So I hope to see you guys all participating in trivia. I'll give you a little spoiler right now. Episode 1's theme is all about NXT. So with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about a Monday Night Raw. Again, we will be back live again on Wednesday for sure. Not sure if we're going to be live tomorrow or not. So with that, thank you guys and have a good night.